Today you're going to be fitting a lightweight crank pulley to my 350Z. We'll just show you which one it is. It's a VMS one, and pop it out. And I have previously fit a lightweight crank pulley to an SR20, which had it on there for years and years and gave no trouble at all. That was an unorthodox racing one, and this VMS one looks to be made every bit as good as that, which is good to see. And I don't think for a second that Nissan over-engineered the SR20DE any better than the VQ 35D. So we're going to fit this today, and sometimes there can be a pain, sometimes I can go straight forward, but I'll take you along and we'll see how we get on. So I'm not sure what you're going to be able to see. Here's the tools so far. I've got a standard 12mm spanner, I've got a ratchet one, 3/8 ratchet and 14mm socket. I've just broken these 14mm there for the tensioners, those two pulleys, and then I've also, so it's directly under the pulley, and then you can get onto it. Enough. One up top, one bout out. And now for this one. A little bit makeshift, but I've wedged the brake pedal down, some bits of fit card and my seat cover against the seat, so that should help a little bit. Oh, and I think she went. As I was saying, hopefully you saw that or heard it, everything on this car so far, suspension, exhaust, brakes, things that are meant to be rather tough, have, praise to God, come to me without too much bother. So rear hub as well, when it was a clicking rear axle, of course they were tight, but they see, it's not overly tight, but just doing it with your fingertips at a weird angle just adds to the fun. So I want to try and take it off in one. Don't know if there's any kind of washer behind it, but there she is. So there's a bit of oil on. I guess that's how it's supposed to be, but we'll keep that bloody safe. That would be too much. And again, yeah, she's a good car. No pullers needed, no pry bars to try and damage anything. So you just saw the big boy come out. So there's a nice amount of oil in there. Looks in really good condition considering the car's done 87,000 miles. So here we have old, new. I'm not going to break the scales out and weigh them. It's on the website what that weighs, what that weighs. I've fitted pulleys before and the difference was you know, more noticeable than an intake or or an exhaust. So that's why we're doing it. Does look very well made. I mean, to eyeball it, size wise looks near enough perfect, and it does run with oil around the boss, and then you can only just hope that this has been machined, you know, to the tolerance. So we'll pull it on and try and get this torqued up. So it's not leaking. Front main seal, which is of course good. Just hopefully the keyway doesn't give me no bother. I'll try and eyeball it as close as I can. It should slot in. So I think the spec was, I think it's 30 to 40 foot-pounds and then 60 degrees. So it is giving me a bit of resistance, and it has just sort of aligned nicely. So there we go, new VMS pulley on. Now what I have to do is just fashion the belts back on. It's a OE size pulley, so it shouldn't give me too much bother, but we're working from up top, so we'll see what joys that. So firstly, aircon belts gone on and correctly tensioned up. Doing the alternator and power steering belt now. Doing it from the top, you very much need a ratchet spanner, otherwise you're just going to be up shit's creek. But remember to sort of do it up, it's the way that you wouldn't think, because your bolt's pointing upwards. So these are only a 14mm, so I can't imagine they need to be up super tight. So when doing anything cam, sprocket, crank pulley, something like that, I always like to turn the engine over by hand a couple times. Just to sort of make sure that nothing's binding, that the alignment's good on the belts, because if you do it by hand, you know, if it was to come off now, then that's better than it, you know, starting up and doing it. Oh, and then the pulleys, they're done up with 14mm, so I've turned it over by hand a couple times, but now we're going to get you mounted in and give it the first start up. Take you out. She started and had a bit of a chirp somewhere, but think the belts would have flung off by now if it weren't aligned quite right, but we'll let it idle a little bit. Seems okay. It does run very tight to the block, but I think the old one did as well. You don't tend to pay that much attention when it's the old stuff, do you? You just whip it off. But yeah, so there we have it. Very possible to replace, let's say, just your alternator belts from up top, but if you've not done it before, set yourself the time, jack it up, get your axle stand, under tray off, and just do it from underneath. The faffing about, you will actually take longer doing it from up top or about the same time. But I did the pulley as well, so sort of extra brave points there. But yeah, she's sounding good, and later on when the missus gets home we'll take it out for a drive. I probably won't video that, he's not going to be able to tell the difference, and I'm not going to be going, ah, it feels like it's powerful. I'm just going to sort of take it back for a drive, and I'll probably just put in the comments or put in the notes what I feel about it. I've had a pulley before on an SR20, but it was sort of coupled with cams and a custom header. It did probably made it feel a bit better, but then I had those sort of major mods done as well. But this so far, it's idling really well, it's torqued up, it's very tight, it's not going to go anywhere. So yeah, thanks for watching.